Hello, pet parents. Thanks for joining us for another Behind the Product segment. And I am really excited because this is something that really impacts me and my family, and I think it's going to be something that your family enjoys as well. I am joined by author Diane Rose-Solomon. Diane, I love these books. What was the inspiration behind this?
Well, the book's name, the story is JJ the American Street Dog, and they're a fictionalized version of my real story. And about 20 years ago, we were thinking about buying a dog. Who knew about animal rescue 20 years ago? I certainly didn't. And a friend of ours found a puppy on a soccer field and called my husband and said, I've got this dog and I don't know what to do with him, and you guys are thinking about getting a dog. And I said, I don't want a street dog, mangy dog. And my husband, who had a bigger heart than me at the time, said, I'll just take a look at the dog. And I said, fine, just look at the dog. And he brought the dog home for me to just look at. And I fell in love with him. And I realized at the time that it didn't have to be a certain breed from a certain breeder, that I fell in love with the dogness of the dog. It's a word that I use now.
Absolutely.
And you get that. You
Yeah,
have dogs.
I do.
You understand there's a soul to the dog. And I realized, I learned at that time that there were between 12 and 16 animals being euthanized every year, healthy adoptable animals that were being euthanized. And I said, this is unacceptable. I need to do something about this. And I became somebody who has a voice for animals who need homes.
So you took that and you've put it into this series of books. Let's talk about JJ the American Street Dog. Give the folks a little bit of an insight into what that one is about.
Well, as I said, it's a fictionalized version, and it takes you through this little story. And we have a young girl named Maya, who's the protagonist in here, and she wants a dog. So many kids want a dog. And she learns about kindness. She learns that there's dogs that need homes, and her whole family learns about this too. And it's no fault if you didn't know before that there's this whole animal rescue and adoption thing going, and something you didn't consider. But once people know that it's a really good option, it's a really kind way to be. And there's this whole discussion now about being kind to people and kind to animals. And if we can help parents and help teachers have this next generation be kind and make a choice where you're saving a life of an animal, really, how much kinder can it be?
Well, and I think that's so great because, as you just mentioned, it's that next generation. I know my daughters and I, we read it, we literally have the discussion, and it is a nice starting off point for parents and pet parents to have that discussion of, here's a better alternative. Here's how we got, in my instance, Sugar and Zoe. They're both rescues. They rescued us, and it allows us to have that conversation in a very positive light. Let's talk about JJ Goes to Puppy Class, because this was a fun one. This one really tickled me.
Well, the first book came out, and when I wrote this first one, I wrote a whole series because JJ has a story. He's got many stories to tell. He goes on many adventures. But what's one of the first things that you want to do when you adopt or have a new dog? You want to train them so that they behave in your home the way that you expect them to. And when you do that, not only are they behaving in your home the way you expect them to, but it's an opportunity to bond. And you don't want to be sending the dog back to the shelter.
Right.
Because these shelters are overrun, and if you put in some time and some love and a little attention, you get back so much from these animals. I believe that they know that they've been rescued. There's a special connection. They say, thank you for rescuing me. But you want to put in some time. And so we go through with Maya again some real life scenarios of training, and she learns and her family learns, and it's great.
Well, and one of the things that I really liked about this is you relate it back to some of the things that we as parents do for our children, then extending it down into the pet world. And I love it. It really tickled. It makes sense, the teething and whatnot. So it was just a really great aspect to it. It really brought it back home. Now, let's also talk about what you're doing overall as an organization, because this has really evolved into something much more than even the books.
Well, the company name is Pets, People, Planet Connection because I believe that everything is connected. When you're kind to animals, you learn to be kind to people. When I speak at schools, not only do I talk about this is a really kind thing to do to rescue a dog, and not just rescue, but care for them. How do you take care of a dog once you have the dog? But then I say to the children in the classroom, what's a way you can be kind to your friend? Well, maybe if they fall down on the playground, you help them, make sure they're okay. Just check in with your friend. My kids learned this in preschool. Check in with a friend. How are we being kind? And make sure everybody's being included. This is about including and not excluding anybody, making everybody feel really good. And so this Pets, People, Planet Connection is about how we're all connected, and there's more products coming down the road for families, nonfiction titles, and some other really big projects that are coming out as well. So,
well, we're really excited about it. I've really enjoyed it, so thank you for doing that. Let's make sure that the folks know where they can find out more information,
Great.
Not only about the books, but the organization and other things that you have coming up.
Great. Well, Diane Rose-Solomon is the website, Diane, D-I-A-N-E, Rose, R-O-S-E, Solomon, SOLOMON.com, or petspeopleplanetconnection.com. And I've got a website, and as new products come out, I'll be sharing them on the website.
Well, we will certainly share them as well. Thank you for everything that you're doing in the pet world. Books like these and the efforts that you're making really make a difference. And I want to say thank you on behalf of myself and all of those who are benefiting from it.
It's my pleasure. And a percentage of my books are always donated back to animal rescue organizations.
Well, thank you for that as well.